Hey, everybody, this is Isaiah Colton with another episode of Sales and Marketing Secrets. And I'm excited about this podcast because I have two of my longtime partners and good friends joining me, Scott and Bobby. And today we're going to be talking about nothing. Like literally, we're just going to freestyle this whole podcast. And I think you guys are going to actually get a ton out of it because I'm going to just ask these guys questions. And we're just going to talk, have real talk about sales and marketing and what it takes to win in real estate and just in business in general. So stay tuned. You are not going to want to miss this podcast. All right. So if you're watching either on YouTube or you're listening to this live or listening to this later, the whole purpose of this podcast is to give you sales and marketing strategies and tactics that you can go and apply to your business, as well as just real talk about what it means to be a sales professional, what it means to be an entrepreneur. So start off, guys. What the hell is going on in the real estate market? Everyone's freaking out, right? Like, oh my gosh, like it's the end of the world, the market's shifting. And then some people, and then other people are like looking forward to it. They're almost like, I'm glad it's happening. And so why are we getting both of those responses, starting with you, Bobby?
I think the realtors that are freaking out is the realtors that don't really have their business set up correctly. I don't know, for us, I'm like, it is what it is. We're just gonna keep moving forward, right? We've always been moving forward, so it's not really scary to us and our team. People are gonna continue to die. You're gonna have estates. People are gonna continue to divorce. People are going to continue to transition, right, out of state, in-state buyers, sellers, whatever. So the real estate business is always there. People always need a place to live. The biggest thing they're freaking out about is mortgage rates right now. But again, it's whatever. I mean, depreciation, last time I checked, was 8-9%. Mortgage rates are at 6%. So it's still free money when you do the math. So it's essentially nothing to be scared of.
Yeah, I think if you're a buyer's agent and you work with a lot of first-time home buyers, that's probably is that a legitimate concern? That's probably a concern, right?
Well, a lot of people are concerned about, oh my God, rates are going up. It's going to be so super expensive to buy a house, or whatever. But the real question is, you need a place to live, and where you're going to live, in an apartment. Great, now you're throwing all that equity away. I mean, we just rented out a 3-bedroom townhouse, nothing crazy. Guys paying $1,800 per month rent. What that equates in today's market, the monthly payment is, if you're just a conventional buyer, that equates to a $300,000 house. So screw the rates, screw the percentage, screw everything. You're getting a 3-bedroom townhouse with hardly any backyard, no deck, nothing, 1-car garage for $1,800 a month. For $2,000 a month, I would rather have my 3-car garage, bigger square footage, on acreage. It's your house that you're building equity. So don't think about it in terms of month, like the rate. Think about it. I usually tell my clients, think about it in terms of monthly payment and what you're getting for your money. All right, here you got this for $1,800. Yep. Now you bought this and you got this for $1,800, which is better. Well, owning is better. Okay. Well, screw the rate then. You have to live, right? This isn't an investment. You're not going to buy it and put tenants in there. So what do you get bang for your buck?
Right.
That's how I usually break it down to my clients.
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest thing is if you're running a team or you're you're concerned about this, just making sure that you have talk tracks. Every time we've experienced a marketing shift, B2B or B2C, we just recognize that shift and train on it and train on how to overcome the objections. I think the problem comes is when you're not proactive about what's happening in the marketplace and you're more focused on the concern and the worry instead of actually coming up with adjusting your sales and marketing strategy to whatever the trend is, right? And you've experienced that a lot, right?
Absolutely.
So
I thought, Bobby, what you shared was great. What I heard was don't be scared. Okay. But ultimately, guys, what I would say to you is, one agent that's freaking out, the other one that's not. It's usually the one that's freaking out is because of the unknown and they don't have a plan in place.
Yep.
Right. So the first thing that I would recommend is you got to first acknowledge, okay, the market is shifting a little bit. What is going to be my plan to attack it? Right. Do I have my systems in place? And guys, when the market shifts, two things are going to happen. Right. One, you're going to get less agents writing business, but the ones that are writing business are going to write more business than they've ever done. Just like if you think of COVID, right? When that happened, a lot of agents I talked to did more business than they ever had because all of a sudden there was less agents out there writing business. So be the guy or girl that has the plan in place, right? Don't be scared. Go out and actually embrace it. And so I would just say it starts with mindset. And second, it starts with having a plan. Right. So if you do those two things, the market shifting will actually be a benefit to you rather than, a negative impact.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And I like what you talked about. Like what you're talking about, having a plan, because here's the thing. When that opportunity or when the market shifts, there's also brand new opportunities.
Yes.
And opportunities that are come back to the table. I think a great one right now, which I'm excited about, is expireds.
Yes,
right.
Absolutely.
We've been seeing, we're actually going to be doing a whole webinar coming up on this topic in partnership with RedX on what's happening with expireds across the market, because the data is showing that the market is shifting, but it's creating brand new niches or niches that are coming back. And that's where I think the struggle is for a lot of teams or individual agents is they get into a stride, right? And they're going along. And because maybe they're just got comfortable.
There's the word, right?
They got comfortable.
Yes.
And rule in business, folks, never freaking get comfortable. Ever. And if you feel yourself starting to get comfortable, you got to have an alarm that goes off in your head and saying, what's the next step here? Because that's why, like I always tell people, I don't care about our competition. Not that I'm not paying attention to them, not that I'm not studying them or like what's happening, but as far as actually like being concerned about the competition, we're so far, we're innovating 6 months, a year in advance. Even whether it's for our brokerage or whether it's for our technology company or consulting company, we're 6 months, a year ahead of in our planning, and we're actually implementing those things because we studied what's happening, we studied what's going on, we're predicting what's coming, and we're innovating in the future.
100%. And I think it goes back to having the, like he said, you heard him say plan a couple times. Right. And just remember this, guys, there is no top of the mountain in our industry. There's always somebody a little bigger, a little better, that writes a little bit more business, right? It's something my father taught me early on. There's always somebody bigger and badder. So if you're getting comfortable, just remind yourself, the nice part about our industry, there is no top of the mountain. You gotta keep going. Good point.
Yep. That's a really good point. I think, I look at right now, you got, even with expired listings, like people that are struggling to get sellers right now, go back to your old freaking expireds. Develop a marketing campaign around your old expireds. I guarantee a lot of them would come back to the table if they were just marketed to correctly.
Well, think about it, guys, right? They raised their hand at one point and actually said,
you triggered.
I triggered. All right, so I got to stop now. They raised their hand at some point and said, hey, I want to sell. And if it hasn't sold, guys, through my experience, sometimes the expireds from 2 years ago are better than even the brand new expired. So, as Isaiah's point earlier, I think, Bobby, you kind of touched on it too. With the shift in the market, there's going to be so much more opportunity. Just make sure you have a plan in place. Don't be scared. And it can actually be a good time for you rather than a negative.
And focus on things.
I think it's going to be easier. Sorry, go ahead, Isaiah.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, the shift in the market, I think it's going to be easier. Even during this crazy market, what we've noticed is, I have this technology on my phone that scans the MLS. Every realtor that joins or leaves, every realtor that joins or whatever automatically gets synced into my contacts. So if I get a text from a number, it's a realtor, and what I've noticed is I'm getting a lot of phone calls on some of these properties, and it's coming up as realtors. But they're like, yeah, I left the industry. I'm just looking to buy for myself, or, sell myself, whatever. And just talking to them, they're like, these last few years, it's been super hard, right? I'm a buyer's agent, and it's been super hard getting an offer accepted. And the few I did get accepted, I can't create a living on. So, I just ended up getting out of the industry. So you have a lot of people, as times get tougher, that will be leaving the industry.
Yeah, that's a
And
good point.
those of you that stay, right, there's going to be the same amount of business. Like I said, there's same amount of people died,
Yep.
divorce, that have to move. So those people have to move regardless. But now you're competing against less realtors. So it's important that you always keep improving, like Isaiah and Scott said, right? Going back to keep your axe sharp, because essentially you'll cut more wood.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point.
People are always going to have to buy and sell a home, right?
Yep.
That's one thing COVID taught us. No matter what happens, you're
Yeah.
always going to have people that are going to need to buy and sell a home.
Yeah, that is true.
Yep.
Yeah. So to summarize for this podcast, we want to make sure that you understand first and foremost, no matter what's going on in the marketplace, you have two ways to think, and everything always goes back to mindset. You can be, concerned, afraid, or you can say opportunity. Yes. Opportunity.
Baby.
And you can develop a plan around that opportunity. And here's the thing. We have almost ended up better off every single time we went through some shift, some pivot, and you innovate through it and you get better. And that's what we want for you. We want you to think opportunity and then develop a plan around that opportunity, and then adjust your sales and marketing approach to that plan, to that niche, to that new opportunity, and then rally your team and make it fun. And those people that don't like change, it's an opportunity for them to grow and learn too. For the people that do like change, it's an opportunity for them to see their gifts come out, right? And so either way, it can be a win, and focus on the opportunity. And I think that's probably the message for today's podcast.
Absolutely.
Not bad for not having anything planned for today, right, guys?
That's what we do, our best work.
Right?
Better.
If you like this, if you're finding value in the Sales Marketing Secret podcast, we ask that you'd share it with your colleagues, and leave some comments below if you're watching this from a page, giving us feedback. If there's any topics you want to hear, just drop a comment in the below. My marketing team's paying attention, and that'll help us make this podcast better and better for each week. Have a great week, everybody.
Take care.
Take care.